So last week we got two promotional pics that were a deadline exclusive for episode 9, Shelter from the Storm. And I really like the pics, they got their own video, and now we have a press release for what's going to be happening in this episode. It's pretty sparse on details, but I'm just happy enough to get it. And we got more promotional photos to discuss. So let's quickly go over the episode description, and then we'll go over the 5 sets of pictures that I have. And I like all of them so much. Meredith and Luca fans, you guys are going to be in love with these photos and hopefully this episode. So the windstorm continues to blow through Seattle, and after the power goes out at Grey Sloan, the doctors are left scrambling to save their patients' lives, including Meredith, who desperately needs to get to Cece for her heart transplant. Meanwhile, Owen, Amelia, and Teddy confront their complicated situation. Now, this episode was directed by Jan Turner, and she directed You Can Look, But You Can't Touch, which was that episode where it was just Joe, Bailey, and Arizona, and it was season 13, and they go to that jail where there's a pregnant teenager. She was vicious, more or less, and Joe sympathized with her, and she gave birth, and there was a lot of complications, but it was a real standalone episode because it really only focused on 3 characters that I actually really like. I like most characters on the show, honestly, but it was really nice just to see 3 characters really stick out. I thought Jan Turner did really well with that episode, so I'm curious to see how she's going to operate with this episode, because she's jumping from, really focusing on 3 main characters with a bunch of, minor characters that are just kind of there to essentially progress the plot, but have real little significance to the plot. But with this episode, we have Meredith and DeLuca's relationship, we have Link and Meredith's relationship, and we have the Amelia and Teddy relationship as well. Amelia, gotta hate Amelia. Owen and Amelia's relationship as well. So there's a lot for Jan Turner to go over here, and I have if she was able to do such a good job with You Can Look, But You Better Not Touch, and I really think that was a very strong episode. I have a feeling that this episode will be very, very strong. The season premiere will be back January 17th. So excited to review that episode, and I do hope we get a longer promotional trailer and whatnot, because we already have these great promos. So as I said, we already got to see the 2 of Meredith and DeLuca. One's in the elevator, one is out of the elevator. I broke both these pictures down in the video, and I really did enjoy them. So let's look at the first set of pictures that we have. And it's 2 of Katerina Scorsoni and 1 of Owen Hunt, Kevin the Kid. I believe they're in the elevator still, because that's how the episode ended. I actually only did watch the mid-season finale once. I normally do give every episode of Grey's Anatomy 2 watches, but I haven't had time to go back and watch this one yet. But I've said this before, that Katerina Scorsoni and I'm blanking on who plays Maggie, which is driving me. Kellen Keary. I've always said that Katerina Scorsoni and Kellen Keary are able to do dramatic acting and funny acting perfectly. They can just jump from one to the other. And now, not that Katerina is being funny, but you can just see the expression of, okay, my world is collapsing, I'm losing Owen, he's gonna pick Teddy, and then you have her be all serious, and she's like, fine, whatever. I just love how she can go from these 2 different emotions so quickly and so perfectly, and she's very, very strong. A lot of people don't like Amelia. I happen to be relatively neutral. I liked her in Private Practice a lot. I really liked her her whole character storyline, honestly. Her character development, her storyline with James, and with Ryan and losing the baby and whatnot. I wasn't a huge fan of her with Owen, but nonetheless, in these shots, she's so she has so much expression, and I really hope that she does get some type of happy ending. I don't want her to relapse. Kevin McKidd, also so fantastic. I really wish, they gave us 3 photos for this elevator scene with the 3 of them. Why wouldn't one of the photos, be one of Teddy? Kim Raver photographs so well. So it doesn't really make sense that we have the sad Amelia, the sad Owen, and the stern Amelia. We should have a sad Owen, a sad Amelia, and oh my god, I've just messed up these 2 people's lives. Teddy, though Teddy really didn't mess up anyone's lives. She's pregnant, she wants a baby, she wants a relationship with Owen, and I very much hope that she gets it. I do support Teddy and Owen. But I love the look that Kevin McKidd gives, because he's like, I like Amelia a lot, we went through a lot. The tumor storyline and whatnot with Amelia, it was very intense, but Teddy's always been there for me. Teddy's pregnant with my child. Do I pick Teddy? Do I pick Amelia? There's a lot to happen here, but I'm really glad that the secret is out. But overall, these 3 pictures are quite nice, and I really am looking forward to seeing the episode flesh out. And I feel that there's no way the pregnancy storyline with Amelia, Owen, and Teddy is just going to end up by like episode 12 or so, I feel like Teddy will be pregnant for the entire season, at least until like episode 16, and then yeah, I honestly don't even think 16. I think really it will go until close to 20 and whatnot. And if we're lucky, we might need a fetal surgeon to come back to help fix a problem with the baby. Hint, hint, Kate Walsh. Okay, next set of photos is we have James Pickens Jr. And he is, he has great expressions and he's a fantastic, very charismatic actor. I really do like the character of James Pickens Jr. I really like Richard Webber himself. Sometimes the character can be a little stubborn, to more or less, but I think overall he's he's an extremely well-developed character. There's no denying that. But the expressions he's giving on his face is just, it's amazing because he's so somber, and he went through a lot in episode 8 when Frankie died, episode 7 when Frankie died. Even though I did say in my review of that episode, I don't understand why it hit him so hard because Frankie's development was really just shot for that episode. She felt very one-offish. And then, he busted up the bar, and he still doesn't know that Catherine is sick yet. But I just love the somber expressions that he's giving. I'm curious who he's telling this bad news to. We don't know who this person is that he's talking to, but I feel the sadness and the empathy that he's giving. He's like, I'm sorry, someone has died. It'll be all right. I think he does play the role of a leader very well. And I'm really curious to see what else will be happening with this character because he has a lot going on with Catherine, and he still doesn't know about that. And he was arrested, and I had said in my review of episode 7 that I was glad he got arrested, and that it just wasn't, he messed up a bar, he did destroy property, so I'm glad that he got some comeuppance, but I'm glad that he's, hasn't been, fired and whatnot. Though I don't know if he would actually quote unquote get fired. I think he'd be forced to retire because he is so old and so embedded at Grace Sloan. I don't think they would fire him. His license would most likely be revoked, though. But anyway, I just really like the photo of Richard, and I'm curious to see what's going to be going on. It's very much the same shot. It's just like one's a close-up and one's a pull away. And I've been saying for quite some time that the camera work in Grey's Anatomy used to be, it was either they would do a lot of walking, which they still do, or just be like shot to shot to shot. They do a lot of wide shots now on the show, which I really appreciate. All right, next set of photos. We have 2 of Meredith and Luca and 1 of the love triangle starting to really form out here, or form here. I love the looks that I cannot say his name, and I feel anytime I say it is just a disservice to the actor. But I love the looks that DeLuca can give Meredith. I think it's just so passionate. It's very powerful, and like it shows that he really does care. And people have been saying about the age difference between the two of them. In real life, it's pretty big. On the show, I think it's only like 12 or so years, which is more or less the relationship that Derek and Meredith had. So I think there's no cradle robbing in canon. And then, we have Chris Carmack come in. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, go away, Chris. I have nothing against Chris Carmack as an actor. I just think that they threw him in as an orthogod and then decided to also make him Meredith's love interest. I think you need to have a character who's either not a doctor or be someone that she knows, such as DeLuca. I mean, I would never say to put Owen and Meredith together, but like that, they're someone with a really tense, long relationship. They know each other. I mean, quite frankly, I think Alex and Meredith could be endgame if something ever happened there. But I think DeLuca makes so much more sense than just throwing someone random at us. Or if they had to do someone random, put him in episode 1 of season 15 and make him not a doctor. Have him deal with Meredith being a full-time general surgeon, the head of general surgery at Grace Sloan. We have more pics of DeLuca and Meredith talking. These ones more so focus on Chris Carmack because Meredith, her face is towards the two of them. But I love the end of him with DeLuca smiling. It really does feel like DeLuca. One, we learned through the Deadline interview that DeLuca will be really fleshed out in this episode, which I'm looking forward to see. I think he's a really interesting character. But I like the looks that Chris Carmack is giving. He's actually he has a bit more expression here than DeLuca does. DeLuca's kind of like, oh. But Chris Carmack, Link is like, I think I could do this. But then that big smile that DeLuca has really makes me think, I've won. I'm going to get her. So I really do like these photos quite a bit. I mean, both sets of photos are fantastic. And then for the last set of photos that we have, I did 4 instead of 3. They're very much focused on Meredith because in the other sets, you never saw Meredith's face. But here, we have her really talking to them. And essentially, she's like, all right, boys, it's on. You two can battle it out, and then I'll see who I like best. And I'm curious, will she go on a date with both of them? how will the courtship work? But I really do like the photos. Meredith Grey, such a great character. Ellen Bayo is such a great actress. I mean, just like her faces are so great in terms of being both dramatic and happy. I mean, that's the one thing that Shonda Rhimes nailed perfectly was casting. I'm very attached to the character of Meredith, and if they ever kill Meredith, ugh, that would be very, very bad. I don't think that'll happen. Quite frankly, you can't have Grey's Anatomy without Meredith Grey. But I just love these photos. I just love how like her hands are like this in one shot, and then she's like this. Like, it's very much her saying, like, it was great spending time with you. Link, I'll talk to you later. Gotta go. And then we have the shot of the two of them being like, oh, where'd you go? Like, why is this happening? And I think that this episode is going to start a really interesting storyline that I hope DeLuca can win. And given the smile in the previous set of photos, I think he's going to win. But I thought these photos were fantastic as well. Last photo is just an extra one of them in the elevator. And I think the vapid amount of photos of DeLuca and Meredith in the elevator really do show that DeLuca has a leg up in this game, at least as of now. So anyway, I enjoyed these photos quite a bit. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my review of this batch of promotional photos for episode 9, the mid-season premiere of Grey's Anatomy, season 15. So many seasons, that is crazy to me. Now, anyway, share your thoughts in the comments below. Happy New Year. I hope you all have a safe night, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. All right, bye. See you in 2019.